everyone, good day wherever you are. Welcome to Connecting the Dots with your connector. That's me, IH. Thank you for being here today. In this episode, I want to talk to you about an experience I had. I don't have a topic for it, but I think we'll draw the topics out when we start talking about it. So some years ago, I had to write an exam, a professional exam, and I went to write it with a friend. We wrote it, we came back, all was well, and then a few days later I saw my friend and he looked very morose, very sad, and I knew that the results would be released in some weeks, not days. So I didn't know what the problem was. So I asked him what the problem was, and he told me how he had heard about others who were supposed to write that same exam, but apparently they did some arrangement, and so they did not go through it the way we did, and he wasn't happy that we went through what we did, and there are some people who are doing the same exam to get the same qualification but not doing it the way we did. They're doing it through some backhand means. And while I sat there, one of the thoughts that crossed my mind was, why did we waste our time going through all of that if we could have paid? Another thought that was about to cross my mind was, so that means that if you had whatever connections or resources they did, you wouldn't have had to go through this. And then I felt God telling me, no, don't entertain that thought. Don't entertain the thought that if you had your way, you would do what they did. And I asked him in my head, I was like, it doesn't change what they've done. My not agreeing with it doesn't change it. And I think that's something that happens to a lot of us. You see something that people have done alternatively, where alternative means wrong, and it looks like it was easier, it was less stressful, and then you allow yourself to entertain the thoughts of, maybe I should have done that. Like, if I could have the connections or the resources they had, if I had the ways they had, I would have done what they did, or I would not have gone through it the way I did. But this is what he taught me. He said, in the time that you allow yourself to think that, you lower your defenses such that the next time there's an opportunity to take the wrong option, you will. And so it compromises you. Before you even get to the point where you take the compromise, you've already been compromised. It's like your human body has immunity. And if you don't do certain things to keep your immunity up, the next time there's a sickness passing by, it will drop by to say hello and you'll be unwell. So he told me, never in your mind accept that something that was done wrong would have been okay if you could have been the one to do it. Does that make sense? Example, people cheating an exam and it appears that they passed more than you did. Don't ever let yourself think that, oh, if only I could have paid like they did, I wouldn't have had to write the exam. Or people compromise on whatever standards or whatever values, whatever principles. Don't allow your mind to conceive that if I had the ways they had, I wouldn't have done it the right way. Once you do that, you are preparing yourself or setting the table for yourself to next time do things the wrong way. That's one of the ways the world goes the way it goes. And we are all complaining. Why are they doing the things they are doing? Why do we give people our trust and then they break it? Sometimes this is how they dropped their guard and then became the very thing that you don't like. And if you drop your guard, you'll find yourself in the same place. So always stand for what is right. Even when it looks as if your voice does not make a difference. It may not appear to make a difference to them, but it makes a difference to you and how you live your life and the values and the standards that you maintain. Never drop it for anybody, even if it looks like it's not making a difference. It makes a difference in your world. So I was asking also, like, what does the Bible say that resonates with this? And these are the verses I got. Proverbs chapter 4, from verse 14 to 15, it says, you should not do as the wicked do. Don't even think about it. So he says it clearly that don't even think about it. And then Ecclesiastes 8, verse 11 and 12. When a crime is not punished quickly, people feel it is safe to do wrong. But even though a person sins 100 times and still lives a long time, I know that those who fear God will be better off. So this is something to have at the back of your mind. When that temptation comes, to consider how other people compromised as a way that you could use. Remember this: those that fear God, you will be better off. But that day, this is the verse that came to mind. The first thing that came to mind when he said what he said, and then these thoughts were running through my mind. The first verse that came was 1 Peter 3:15. Sanctify the Lord God in your hearts, and be ready always to give an answer to every man that asks you a reason of the hope that is in you, with meekness and fear. And what stood out there to me was sanctify the Lord God in your heart. So to sanctify is to set it apart as holy, set it apart as something that you will not negotiate on, you will not drop, you will not compromise on. We must sanctify him, sanctify his principles, his standards, his values, the way he does things. Sanctify it in your heart as something that, look, it is non-negotiable. I will never even consider going contrary to this. That is God's standard in my heart and in my mind. I hope it resonates with you. I hope you learned something out of this. We would love to hear from you. So please share, like, and drop a comment. Drop a comment about how this resonates with you, how it makes sense to you, what you get from it, what you understand, an experience you have, a testimony, and we will learn and connect the dots together. Thank you for having me in your sitting rooms or wherever you're watching this. Until next time we meet to connect the dots. Take care, God bless you, and see you. Bye.